because, like I said, systolic blood pressure, it's a continuous outcome. So just click next and write the name of your outcome. It is systolic blood pressure. Okay, so when you've written the name, you don't have to label the groups because it has already labeled it for you. So then just click next. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see the screen also? Okay, so when you've written the name of your outcome, you don't have to write the name of the group, the name of the groups. So just click on next. And again, when you guys are on the screen, please let me know because I have to explain a couple of things here. Okay, so again, we'll choose random effects here because, like I told you guys, our studies are different and they're not identical to each other, so we'll choose random effects. And in statistical methods, you can see that it has already chosen the inverse variance method for us, and we cannot choose anything else. So just leave it as it is. Yes, that's right. So we choose random effects and IV because inverse variance because we cannot choose anything else. And now there are two effect measures that you can see: mean difference and standardized mean difference. Okay, so you can see these two effect measures. Okay, don't change the statistical method, leave it on inverse variance. I don't think you can change the statistical method if you have chosen the continuous outcome. Like if I choose the dichotomous outcome, then I can change it. Okay, so don't worry about the statistical method. Let's move on to the effect measure. Okay, so now we'll understand what's the difference between mean difference and standardized mean difference. Okay, when do we select mean difference and when do we select standardized mean difference? So mean difference we select when we only have to do analysis of continuous outcomes and which are measured universally the same way. Like systolic blood pressure, it is measured the same way worldwide. There's no other way to calculate systolic blood pressure, and for example cholesterol also it is calculated the same way. Okay, so all the things that can be calculated the same way and they are given to you in same units also, and the studies have calculated them in a similar manner. So in that scenario you will use mean difference. Okay, but we use standardized mean difference when there are multiple ways to calculate one particular thing. Okay, so for example, to check if you've had a myocardial infarction, there are multiple ways to quantify that. You can do either troponin I, troponin T, and CKMB. So all of these things indicate whether you've had an episode of MI or not. Okay, so if there are multiple ways to calculate one particular thing, so in that scenario you will use standardized mean difference. Like I gave you the example of heart attack, because there are multiple ways to quantify that, to troponin I, troponin T, CKMB. So in that scenario we use standardized mean difference. But if that particular continuous outcome is calculated the same way across all the studies, then we'll use mean difference. If they Zan has asked a good question. If they've given us, for example, height, and they've given it in different units, so what will we do then? Instead of units difference, बाकी सब same है. So in that scenario, we will choose mean difference because अगर height inches में है या height feet में है, तो we can easily convert them. Okay. But अगर जैसे मैंने example दी heart attack की, तो अगर CKMB की values को हम convert नहीं कर सकते in troponin I values, right? So in that scenario, we use standardized mean difference. If we can easily convert the units also, then we use mean difference. See, mean difference is बेसिक हमारे जो वैल्यूज होती हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल कोलेस्ट्रॉल हो गया, LDL हो गया, BMI हो गया, या सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर हो गया, डायस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर हो गया, all these outcomes, they are calculated the same way. Okay, and if all the studies in your meta-analysis, they calculate that particular continuous variable say in the similar manner, so then you will select mean difference. Okay, जैसे हमें पता है सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर सारी स्टडीज ने सेम mm/Hg ही कैलकुलेट किया होगा. ठीक है, so we know it's identical across the studies. Okay, the way of calculating blood pressure is identical across all the studies, so we select mean difference. But अगर हमारा outcome होता, for example हार्ट अटैक के अलावा हम एक और example दें अगर, so to measure depression or to evaluate depression in a particular individual, there are numerous scales to do that. Okay, so some scales out of 7 they give us 4 out of 7, some give us 4 out of 10. Okay, so ये सारे scales अगर हम आपस में तो इनको convert नहीं कर सकते ना कुछ, because there are different ways to calculate the same thing, which is depression. Okay, so in that scenario again I will use standardized mean difference. Okay, so simply standardized mean difference is this, that if you have to if a particular thing can be calculated in numerous ways and the studies have given it in different ways and you want to calculate the same thing, which is for example heart attack या depression, तो तब हम यूज करेंगे standardized mean difference. But अगर सारी स्टडीज ने सेम तरीके से किया हुआ है वो इवैल्यूएट, लाइक सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर वी नो सबने सेम तरीके से किया हुआ है, तो तब हम यूज करेंगे मीन डिफरेंस. ओके, सो different scales way to calculate. So you have to see in the studies that have they calculated the same way or not. Okay, जैसे हमें पता है कि हार्ट blood pressure it's only calculated in mm/Hg, right? So we don't have to go and check in all the studies. But अगर जैसे depression हो या कोई हो जिसका उन्होंने स्कोर दिया हो different scales को use करके, so in that scenario you will have to go through all the studies and see have they used different scales or not, and then you will use standardized mean difference. Okay. For this study, for this outcome, you're going to use mean difference because, like I said, systolic blood pressure, it's only blood pressure, and there's no need to use standardized mean difference here. So here we'll use mean difference. Okay. Yes, yeah, and you're right. Um, we just have to see, look through all the studies and see whether they've calculated one particular thing in a similar manner or not. If they have calculated in a similar manner, so just use mean difference. But if they've used different scales or different units which are not convertible, so then use standardized mean difference. If a scale can be easily converted, like I said, so just use mean difference. Okay, so moving on, I'll choose mean difference here, and then click next. Again, you don't have to do anything here. Just click next. And like we did previously, you just have to write the name of our intervention, which was polypill, the name of risk control. Okay, and sort by year of study, and then click next. Yes, you will have to convert the units. Okay, now add study data for the new outcome. We'll choose mean difference for this because there's only blood pressure. Okay, so now add the 4 studies that I included in this outcome. I've sent the screenshot in the group. Okay, so only umpire, focus, impact, and gap are reporting changes in solid blood pressure. Okay, so just add them. Ian, I will talk about subgroup analysis after this. Okay, study data is just normal adding studies. So add all the 4 studies that I included in this analysis. Okay, so select the 4 studies that I included in this outcome. They are focus, gap, impact, and umpire. And then click finish. Okay, so everyone should be on this screen. Okay, let me know when you guys are on this screen. Okay, so those of you who are done, who are on this screen, you can go ahead and add the values also. To understand the values, it's pretty simple. I think Hala told you guys yesterday this. So this negative 7.8 is the mean difference for polypill group, and this 27.75, this is the standard deviation for the polypill group. Okay. For control, this negative 6 is the mean difference in change in solid blood pressure, and this 26.46 is the standard deviation for the control group. Okay, so just add these values. If you want to select only 4 studies, then like I mentioned yesterday, press control and then click on the 4 studies you want to select. Okay, hold control on your keyboard, the control button, and if you're using Mac, then hold command and then just click all the studies you want to select. When you guys have added the data, please let me know. And please make sure you enter the right data because you don't want to make the same mistakes we made yesterday. In total, you can see मेज में जो टोटल लिखा हुआ है हर स्टडी का, जैसे एम्पायर का 1002 है टोटल, पोलीपिल और कंट्रोल दोनों के टोटल्स दिए हुए मेज में, so you can check it from there. Standard deviation is the value in the brackets. Okay, so for example, in Empire 2013 study, the 27.75 is the standard deviation for polypill group, and 26.46 is standard deviation for the control group. Well, let me add the values and then I'll repeat how I added the mean difference outcome. Because I've added my outcome, I'll repeat how to enter values. Okay, how to enter values, you can see in the first column you have the mean column, and then second column you have SD, and the third column you have the total. Okay, so mean SD total. So I will tell you what is mean. So mean is this negative 7.8. Okay, and 27.75 is SD, and your total you can see from here, the maze group, that total is 1002. Okay, so you will see the total from here. The mean is negative 7.8. Okay, and 27.75 is the standard deviation. So just enter these values. So now I'll repeat how to add the continuous outcome. I think some of you guys were confused about that. So just right click on your comparison, click add outcome. I'll just do it quickly, so please everyone follow this. Just click on continuous and click next. Write the name of the outcome, whatever it is. Solid blood pressure, I'll write SBP. Click next, and here choose random effects. And since the solid blood pressure is measured in a similar way, so just use mean difference and click next. and don't do anything here. Click next, and then just write the name of your, just label your graph. The top one will always be the intervention and bottom will always be the control. Okay, so then sort it by year of study because it just looks nice, and click next, and then you can add study data for the new outcome. Yes. So now I will hold control and click on all the studies I want to add. Okay, just press control and click the studies you want to add. Okay, so and then I'll just click finish and my outcome will be related. For example, if you added all the studies by mistake, so let me tell you how to delete that. Just click finish here. Expand your comparison. Then you will see all your outcomes. Okay, and then like choose the outcome from which you want to delete the studies. Expand that, and just right click on the study you want to delete, and just click delete study data. Okay, so ऐसे हम delete कर देंगे studies. ठीक है, and if you want to delete an outcome, so just right click on that outcome and click delete outcome. Okay, so now please let me know. I think you guys added all the data. So let me know. Open the forest plot. Before opening the forest plot, I think you all must be seeing it like this, right? It's very difficult to see this, so you can adjust this slider at the bottom. Okay, you can adjust the slider at the bottom. Okay, to wherever you want to adjust it at. Okay, so I think this is fine for me, so I've done this. So you also do this. This slider is at the bottom. Okay, you can see. So just move that and adjust it to wherever you want to. Okay, so when you've adjusted your forest plot, please open the forest plot and just wait here a couple of minutes so that everyone can enter the values. Impacts control SD is 18.1. Impacts control SD is, oh yeah, 18.1. Total you can find from the MACE outcome. All the totals are written. The 1002 and the 350, 256, these all are the total. Okay, so please let me know when you guys have opened the forest plot. How did I expand the forest plot? Look at the slider at the bottom. Okay, you guys can see the slider. Guys, like I mentioned, the total will be the same for the MACE outcome and this outcome. Okay, because the number of the patients will be same, right? So just write the total from the MACE outcome. I've sent a screenshot in the group. उसमें सबके total लिखे हुए हैं. So just enter those totals. Okay, so this is how you can adjust your forest plot by the slider at the bottom. You just hold the cursor and just move it. Okay, so now open the forest plot and everyone please, when you've entered the values and everything, so let me know. And those of you who have entered the values in the forest plot, what do you mean in the forest plot? What did you understand? Like, just click on this button and you'll get the forest plot. Okay, if you want to adjust it, then you can adjust it by moving this. Okay, so you guys have already started on telling the significance of it. Okay, so yeah, so let's do it then. So first of all, we can see the p-value is 0.008, which means it is less than 0.005. So our outcome is significant. And the second thing that the diamond is not touching the center line, so obviously it is significant. And the third thing is, it's a bit different for mean difference because see, in risk ratios, I told you guys that if all three values, the risk ratio and the two confidence interval values are either less than 1 or greater than 1, then they will be significant. Okay, but in mean difference, it depends on the negative sign next to it. If all three values are positive, then it will be significant. If all three values are negative, then it will also be significant. Okay, so we just want all three values to have the similar sign. Okay, so I'll repeat this point. I mentioned that, okay, I think you guys know in risk ratio, okay, all three of the values, these three values, the risk ratio, then two confidence interval, they have to be either less than 1 or greater than 1 to be significant. Okay, but for mean difference, it is all three of them should have similar sign next to it. Either they should all be positive or they should all be negative. Okay, you add umpire value info for SY. Could anyone verify that my values are right or not? Did I make any mistake? Just verify it through this overall value. If it's similar, then I think my values are right. Okay, all right, thank you guys. Okay, so nahin Sagar, it's not the case in risk ratio as well. Risk ratio में होता है कि all the values should be either less than 1 or greater than 1. Okay, ठीक है. But इसमें less than 1 or greater than 1 का scene नहीं है. इसमें है it should either be positive, all the values should either be positive, or all three values should be negative. Like in our case, you can see all three values, the mean difference value and the two confidence intervals, they're all negative. Okay, which means that they're significant. Time should not be touching center line, just like I did in but yes. Okay, so you guys know that it's significant. Now, could someone tell me that what does a negative mean difference mean? Okay, this overall it's negative 1.81, right? So what does this mean? क्या मतलब हुआ इसका negative 1.81? But p here is not significant. P is significant. The p value we use is for the overall effect. The bottom p value. Okay, so it is 0.008. It's significant. So mean difference interpretation was this: okay, all three values, the mean difference value and the two confidence intervals, they should either be positive or negative to be significant. ठीक है, तीनों के साइन सेम होने चाहिए. It's favoring polypill negative association in negative for left side of graph maybe. Negative का मतलब यही है कि left side of graph है yes. Favors intervention favors polypill. That's true favors polypill, but I want you guys to understand what does negative mean differently. कि अगर हम दो चीज़ों को सब्सट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं और एक नेगेटिव वैल्यू आ रही है हमारी, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? ठीक है, तो okay, so like let's go through all the studies one by one. And in Umpire 2013, we can see, because I won't able to focus right now because I'll explain this and it's a bit technical, so you guys might have difficulty understanding it. So in Umpire 2013, the mean value that we entered was negative 7.8, okay, and the control mean value was negative 6, ठीक है. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि हमारा systolic blood pressure in the polypill group is negative 7.8. मतलब कि हमारा systolic blood pressure ज़्यादा decrease हो रहा है in the polypill group, right? Because negative 7.8 is a greater decrease as compared to negative 6, ठीक है. So इसका ये मतलब हुआ कि in Umpire 2013, systolic blood pressure is decreasing more in the polypill group as compared to the control group, ठीक है. अब now let's talk about impact 2014, and again polypill is decreasing by negative 4.5 and control is decreasing by negative 2.1, ठीक है. तो ज़्यादा decrease किसमें आया, polypill में आया या control में आया? और impact 2014 ज़्यादा decrease किसमें आ रहा है, in systolic blood pressure in polypill group or the control group? Okay, yes, yes. So there's a greater decrease in the polypill group, which means that by giving polypill, patients are experiencing a greater decrease in the systolic blood pressure, ठीक है. तो हमारा blood pressure बहुत कम हो रहा है polypill देने से, so it is better, ठीक है. अब ये जो नेगेटिव ओवरऑल वैल्यू है, नाउ इंटरप्रेट इट लाइक दिस, जैसे मैंने सिखाया अभी कि नेगेटिव का क्या मतलब हुआ, किस ग्रुप में ज़्यादा डिक्रीज आया. सो नाउ आई वांट यू गाइस टू इंटरप्रेट इट लाइक दिस, जैसे मैंने अभी तक दिखाया. Patients saying polypill had significantly greater decrease in systolic. That's amazing, Tareem. So what Tareem has written, that's like the ideal sentence that we use for the results portion of our meta-analysis. That's how we have to write it. Okay. So I want everyone to read this. Okay. So you guys know how to write it. So negative 1.81 means that there's a greater decrease in systolic blood pressure in the polypill group as compared to the control group. Okay. Okay, you guys understand this now? अच्छा, and इसमें there's no heterogeneity, so there's no need to do a sensitivity analysis in this. Okay. There's a greater decrease in systolic blood pressure in polypill group. Yes. Could you please repeat interpretation once more? Okay, so interpretation, like I mentioned, if we like look at the Umpire 2013 study, negative 7.8 is the value for the polypill group and negative 6 is the value for the control group. Okay, so मतलब हुआ कि negative 6.8 मतलब 7.8 कम हुआ है हमारा blood pressure in the polypill group and 6 units कम हुआ है हमारा blood pressure in the control group. ठीक है, तो when you compare it, so ज़्यादा decrease किसमें आया, polypill में 7.8 का आया और control में 6 आया, तो ज़्यादा तो polypill में आया, right? So then the overall value is negative 1.8, which means that there is a greater decrease in the polypill group as compared to the control group. ठीक है, so that's how we write the result, that's how we explain it. If we have a positive value overall, then it means that there is a greater increase in the polypill group as compared to the control group. ठीक है. Okay. So interpretation again, I'm repeating it for one last time. Look at the Umpire 2013 study. It is negative 7.8. Okay, the polypill mean is negative 7.8, which means हमने patient को दिया ये polypill and उनमें 7.8 units कम हुए हैं systolic blood pressure के. Okay, and control group में by giving them control 6 units कम हुए हैं systolic blood pressure के. So now ज़्यादा decrease किसमें आया? Obviously polypill में आया because it's negative 7.8. So that's why the overall value is negative 1.8 for the study. So apply the same logic to this overall value. Negative 1.81 means that there is an overall greater decrease in polypill group as compared to the control group. If there was heterogeneity, then yes. For example, if there was heterogeneity here, so I would have to do a sensitivity analysis. And sensitivity analysis करने का पहला तरीका होता है to do a leave one out sensitivity analysis. Okay, I'll remove one study and see that is my overall heterogeneity decreasing or not. Okay, so I have to remove one by one all studies and see if the overall heterogeneity is decreasing or not. Okay, that's the first way. And the second way to do sensitivity analysis was to like identify the studies that are different and then remove them from your sensitivity analysis. Okay, for example, if I think this one and this one they're different, so I'll remove both of them and then I'll see the forest plot and then I'll see if the heterogeneity is decreasing or not. Okay, so that's it. So you remove studies on the basis of how different they are than the rest. Okay, and difference could mean either difference in study design, if they are a retrospective cohort study, or if they have like many males, like 90% males, and the rest of the studies have only 50% males. So all these differences you have to look for by checking your baseline sheet and the studies itself. If polypill and control are positive, but mean difference is polypill plus. Okay, so for example, someone said that let's say both are positive, both are increasing. ठीक है, positive का मतलब ये हुआ ना कि दोनों increase हो रहे हैं. Okay, so अब could someone explain to me this Umpire 2013 study? Okay, I've changed the values a bit, so explain to me कि क्या हो रहा है इसमें. Overall value negative 2 आ रही है, so इसका मतलब क्या हो रहा है? But mean की value is either it's 6 and 8. So what is happening here? Maheen, I just quickly revised sensitivity analysis. You don't have to do it in this because heterogeneity is already 0. तो मैं वैसे ही example दे रहा था. You don't have to do it in this. It's not significant. I'm not talking about significance. I'm just saying comment on this first study, Umpire 2013 only. that both the polyples will increase the soluble pressure, but the greater increase. Yes. So Iman is right in this. Okay, both are increasing, but there is a control and greater increase in soluble pressure. So polyple and less increase in soluble pressure. Yes. So Iman is also right. Then he's also right. Decrease in soluble pressure, but polyple. Okay, so these two are right. So what it means is the polyple soluble pressure has increased, but it has increased only by 6 units, and for control group it has increased by 8 units. So ज़्यादा increase इसमें control में आया, ठीक है? तो इसका मतलब कि as compared to the control group, polyple has increased in a lesser quantity, right? So इसीलिए the overall value is -2, ठीक है? Because it has subtracted this value from this value, okay? So this column is subtracted by this column, and then you get these values. So ये है वो इसका. Okay, so now guys, we baseline sheet, the use of baseline sheet will be in the main manuscripts in the first paragraph of results. Ala will go over that when she'll tell you guys how to do manuscript writing, okay? So now we have to do subgroup analysis, okay? So for subgroup analysis, I want everyone to open the MACE outcome. Okay, so open the MACE outcome, everyone. You can look through these outcomes and open that. So when you've opened the MACE outcome, please let me know. Okay, so we have to be quick now. So I want everyone to stay with me here and don't ask questions about the stuff we've done. Okay, you can ask me privately also later on. So subgroup analysis basically होता है क्या? Subgroup analysis ये होता है if you want to divide all these 6 studies based on a particular variable. For example, we didn't use 6 studies. We used 4 studies in SBB because they were SBB was given by 4 studies only. Okay, so we couldn't do anything about it. So हम subgroup analysis तब करते हैं जब we want to see कि किसी subgroup का कोई particular effect है overall results पे कि नहीं, ठीक है? And that means कि for example हमारी जो 6 studies हैं, 3 of them are cohort studies and 3 of them are RCTs. And now we want to see that is there a difference in the overall results of RCTs and cohort studies. Okay, अगर हमने individually दोनों का देखना है results कि cohorts में क्या results आ रहे हैं overall and RCTs में क्या results आ रहे हैं overall. So in that scenario we will do subgroup analysis. Okay, ठीक है? Subgroup analysis is basically subgrouping your studies based on a particular criteria. Criteria मेरा इसमें ये है कि I want to see if there is a difference between the overall results of RCTs and the cohort studies from these 6. ठीक है? तो the first thing that you have to do is right click on your outcome base. You can see it here. Right click on it. And I want everyone to please take screenshots of this because it's a bit complicated. So, and I can't be answering every question now. So please take screenshots of everything. And right click on MACE. And then you will see introduce subgroup written here. Okay. So you right click on MACE, you will see introduce subgroup written here. And then click on introduce subgroup. Okay. So you've already created one subgroup now. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to make another subgroup. So again, right click on MACE and click on add subgroup. ठीक है? पहले हमने introduce subgroup कर लिया, एक subgroup आ गया, new subgroup के नाम से. Now again right click on MACE and click on add subgroup and write the name of the subgroup which will be cohorts. Okay. So we'll add cohort studies in this. ठीक है? And then just click next. And then click add study data for the new subgroup. ठीक है? मैंने भी ये किया. Again I'm repeating. I right click on MACE. I clicked on add subgroup and then write the name of your subgroup which was cohorts and then click next. And then click add study data for the new subgroup. Okay. So now we want to add the cohort studies. Okay. So इन 6 में से हमारी cohort studies कौन सी हैं? वो हमें ये जो है स्क्रीनशॉट में भेजिए उससे देख के पता लग जाएगा. Just open your outcome sheet. You will know. Okay. So GAP, Poly, Iran, and Secure are our cohort studies. So GAP, Poly, Iran, and Secure are our cohort studies. So select those 3. GAP, Poly, Iran, and Secure. You can select by holding control. Okay. So press control and select these 3 studies. I will repeat this, but first of all try to follow what I'm doing. Okay. Don't worry, I will repeat this. Magnify कर लूँ तो I will repeat this. So just should be not. They're prospective cohort studies, they're not retrospective. It's fine, you can just write cohorts because all 3 of them are same. If they were different, like some were retrospective, some were cohorts, then you could have written that. Okay, so it's fine, just write cohorts. So just select 3 cohort studies and click finish, okay? तो हमारे दोनों subgroup बन गए हैं और हमारा अब open your MACE outcome, okay? You can open it by like this, ठीक है? Now when everyone is on the screen, please let me know जब तक मैं repeat कर रहा हूँ how to add subgroups, okay? So Yes, so the next thing that we have to do is we have to enter the data for the cohort studies, and इसको निकालने का एक आसान तरीका है, ठीक है, ऊपर वाले में से सीधा कॉपी कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, just highlight them like this, and Control C, and then just click on gap and Control V. Okay, so this is an easy way to do this. So again, now we have to copy the data for poly, Iran, and secure. So just highlight them, okay, like I'm highlighting them, okay, and then press Control C, and then come down, click on poly, Iran, and click on Control V. Done. ठीक है, अभी I've entered the data. Now I will repeat how I added subgroups and everything. Okay. Introduce subgroup. Olivia, please look at Osama's message. He has summarized it for you. How to add a subgroup. Okay. So I can repeat it for you also. Just right click on your outcome, click on add, click on introduce subgroup. एक subgroup आ जाएगा. फिर again right click on your outcome, click on add subgroup, and then select the studies for that subgroup, and उसको finish कर दो तो ऐसा आ जाएगा. Simple. ठीक है. For Mac, what do you mean for Mac? If you want to copy, then you can Command C, I think, for Mac. It will copy it for you. ठीक है, अब हमने करना है कि we have to name our first subgroup. Okay, it is new subgroup written, but we have to rename it to make it RCDs. Okay, so simple है, subgroup right click करो या double click करो subgroup को, sorry, right click करो subgroup पे and click on rename subgroup, and simple, just write it RCDs and you'll be done. Okay, rename, if you want to rename a subgroup, you can see the subgroups on the left side, so just right click on your subgroup and click on rename subgroup. Okay, ठीक है, अगर कोई study miss हो गई है तो you can again right click on the subgroup and click on add study data. ठीक है, so now when everyone is like on the screen, everyone has done what I've done, please let me know because we have to do one thing more here. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to remove 3 studies from the RCD subgroup which are not RCDs, and those 3 were gap, poly, Iran, secure. Okay, so just expand your RCD subgroup and you will see all the studies here. Okay, you will see the name of the studies here. So just right click on the studies that you have to delete, and they are gap, poly, Iran, and secure. So just delete them. Gap, poly, Iran, and secure. Okay, so now your subgroup analysis should look like this. No, it's not. We don't have to add third subgroup because the third subgroup for overall, ये जो नीचे वाला thread tag diamond नजर आ रहा है, that is the overall value. Okay, जो दोनों subgroup को मिला के आ रही है. So there's no need to add a third subgroup. Okay, so now everyone should be on the screen. सारी add हो गई हैं subgroups में and everything, सारी values add हो गई हैं. So now open the forest plot. Okay, open the forest plot. And now interpret each and every black diamond for me. Okay, so starting with the top black diamond for RCTs. How to remove things. Okay. So to remove a study, you can see your outcome. Okay, means you can see the RCT is written, the RCT subgroup. So expand that. And you will see the list of studies, okay, in the RCT subgroup. So just right click on any study you want to delete and delete it. Okay, so when you've done that, open the forest plot and start with the interpretation. Obviously touching the lines is not significant, yes. So for the RCT subgroup, we can see that it is not significant, right? Because the p-value is also 0.14 and the diamond is also touching the central line, so it's not significant. And cohorts, it's significant obviously because you can look at it and see, ठीक है? And the overall value is the same as the previous one because वो हमने पहले analysis किया हुआ है, उस पर हम बात नहीं करेंगे अभी. ठीक है, overall is insignificant like before also. उसमें कोई डिफरेंस नहीं आया, ठीक है, लेकिन अब हमें डिफरेंस ये पता लगा कि previously overall was not significant, right? And like nothing was significant previously, but upon doing subgroup analysis, you can see that cohort studies show a significant result. So this is the main reason why we do subgroup analysis. कि देखना होता है हमने कि individual किसी scenario पे based on study design कि कोई difference आ रहा है results में कि नहीं आ रहा, okay? And like in this scenario, we can clearly see that RCTs and subgroup and cohorts they have different results, okay? So this was the purpose to do a subgroup analysis, and इसको interpret करना भी हमें आ गया simply कि cohorts are significant and they are significantly decreasing mass, and in RCTs there's no significant association, and overall also there's no significant association, okay? So this was subgroup analysis, guys. कुछ अगर confusion हो तो बताओ. Please interpret diamond again. Okay, so diamond interpretation was this कि again this is a dichotomous outcome maze है ये. तो for subgroup को हम ऐसे interpret करते हैं कि हम बताते हैं पहले overall हमारा insignificant था, जैसे पहले overall को state करेंगे, and then we'll talk about the individual subgroups के cohorts में significant आए and RCTs में non-significant आए, ठीक है? And discuss the RR for RCTs. RR is like 1.31, but the first confidence interval is 0.91. Okay, so like I mentioned before, all 3 of them should be above 1 or below 1 to be significant, so it's not significant. So if you can look at the cohorts RR, all 3 values are below 1, which means that they are significant and they're significantly decreasing mass in polygon growth. इसमें सेंसिटिविटी एनालिसिस करने का कोई रीज़न नहीं है, ओके, क्योंकि वो सेंसिटिविटी एनालिसिस हम अलग करते हैं जो जब सारी स्टडीज कंबाइंड होती हैं तब करते हैं, ओके, सो दैट इज समथिंग एल्स. इसमें you just have to do this and report the findings as it is, okay. See, subgroup analysis is not done every time, but it's better to do it because क्योंकि it only adds weight to our study, ठीक है, हमारी study like the journal will read it and see कि वो they've done like additional analysis also, not only a basic analysis, so it just improves our chances of publication and gives a positive impact to the journal, so it's better to do it. Similar for sensitivity, it's not like compulsory to do it every time, but it's always better to do it. Okay, so I'll interpret the results again. For RCTs, you can see it's not significant because it's touching the center line, and cohorts are significant, and they're significantly decreasing maze because the R is less than 1, right? So मैंने कल बताया था कि if the risk ratio is less than 1, it means that polypill is significantly decreasing the risk of maze, and overall is again not significant. So this is how you have to interpret it. और ऐसे ही report करना होगा, individual subgroups का बताना होगा, and then overall बताना होगा. Okay? There are more types of study apart from. Oh yeah, if you had like let's say prospective cohort studies and retrospective cohort studies and let's say case control studies also, so you can make more subgroups also, okay? So it's up to you, and just make sure that each subgroup should have a minimum of 2 studies, okay? You cannot make a subgroup with 1 study only. The brackets in the risk ratio portion show the confidence interval, it's written at the top, okay? 95% CI. Yes, subgroup analysis for SVP will also be the same, okay? You guys can do that on your own. I cannot perform for continuous outcomes right now because it will take a lot of time, and for you guys to follow it also, okay? So it's the same as this, you can do it on your own. If you guys have any problem, you can let me know. Okay guys, so we're almost done with Huffman now, ठीक है? Can we do subgroup analysis for heterogeneity? No, heterogeneity is a different thing. मतलब heterogeneity भी explain हो सकती है subgroup analysis से, कि मतलब हमारी overall 70 थी, और इससे हमें subgroup analysis करने से पता लगा कि the majority of the heterogeneity is coming from the cohort studies, okay? Because cohorts की 50 and 8 है. So we can do it, but do sensitivity analysis for it, okay? Okay, so I'll share the file. Okay guys, we're almost done with our Huffman file, and the last thing that we have to do here is publication bias, okay? So publication bias, does anyone know what publication bias is? क्या होता है publication bias? Okay, so publication bias जैसे नाम से पता लग रहा है, ये होता है कि कुछ studies जैसे for example I'm doing I want to research on let's say an effect of a drug on lung cancer, ठीक है, और मुझे पता है कि बाकी studies उसको already published हैं, उनकी findings क्या हैं, ठीक है, already know their findings, and मैंने अपनी study की और मेरी study की findings different आ रही हैं उनसे, ठीक है, मेरी study की findings let's say non significant आ रही हैं या बिल्कुल opposite आ रही हैं उनसे, ठीक है, so I might not publish my study because it's a small study and it has like non significant findings, ठीक है, so because of this it can lead to publication bias, ठीक है, publication bias ये चीज़ होती है मैंने बताया था कि कुछ studies होती हैं which are small and non significant which have different results than the rest and they don't get published, तो उनकी वजह से we do an assessment of publication bias to see कि हमारे particular topic में ऐसी तो कोई study नहीं थी जो रह गई हो या जो publish नहीं हुई हो, तो उसके assessment के लिए हम publication bias करते हैं. Yes, so Humayun was right, हम वही publish करते हैं जो हमें favorable लगता है outcome, ठीक है, तो इसी वजह से publication bias आ सकता है, ठीक है, तो अब publication bias को देखने का तरीका ये है कि you can see a funnel plot button next to the forest plot button, ठीक है. See, जो मैं publication bias कर रहा हूँ, I'm talking about publication bias हम देखते हैं उन studies का जो unpublished होती हैं which are original studies like RCTs और cohort studies या case control studies या cross-sectional, ठीक है, उसमें ये matters include नहीं होते, ठीक है, क्योंकि वही studies हम include करते हैं ना meta, तो हम उन्हीं का देखते हैं कि are there some studies which are not which haven't been published, तो उनको देखने के लिए publication bias हम करते हैं. We can publish meta is different than original studies, ठीक है, I'm talking about original studies, I'm not talking about metas. Meta को publishing वाला ही बात नहीं कर रहे. Yes, so yeah, it's also right we make sure that we've not us like we just have to make sure that इस topic पे कोई ऐसी studies तो नहीं है which have gone unpublished, okay, that's it, ठीक है, ये publication bias होता है. And like all the RCTs are similar, all the baseline demographics are also similar, then you can use fixed effects. Okay, so everyone open the funnel plot now, which is next to the forest plot. ये forest plot की right side पे होगा funnel plot. You cannot include the unpublished studies, right? वो तो unpublished नहीं होंगे तो मिलेंगे कहाँ से वो? So बस ये होता है assessment कि हम check करना चाह रहे हैं उसके कोई unpublished studies थी इस topic पे कि नहीं थी, okay, nothing else. फिर हमें जाके ढूंढना नहीं होगा, उन्हें कुछ नहीं करना होगा. You just have to make this for a funnel plot and nothing else. Okay, so everyone open the funnel plot. When you guys have opened it, please let me know. I will tell you how I'm going to find it. It's fine if it's a little different right now because you have to focus on the interpretation. It's fine if it's different, don't worry. ठीक है, अच्छा, the major thing to remember here is कि funnel plot publication bias assessment is only done if you have more than 10 studies in your outcome, okay? अगर कोई outcome में 10 studies से ज़्यादा हैं तभी हम publication bias assessment करेंगे, ठीक है? Right now we have 6 studies only, but I want you guys to understand how to do it, so इसलिए I'm showing you how to do it. okay, वरना normally I wouldn't do subgroup analysis for this outcome because we only have 6 studies, ठीक है. So अब इसको हमें पता कैसे लगता है कि इसमें publication bias है कि नहीं है. Okay, so इसमें हमें पता कैसे लगेगा कि publication bias है कि नहीं है. वो ये तरीका होता है कि imagine that this is a triangle, okay, this entire thing is a triangle and this is the top of the triangle and these are the sides, okay. So imagine this is a triangle and ideally all three sides of the triangle, all three corners of the triangle, they should be covered with studies, okay. There should be an even spread of studies. So ये जो boxes हैं और circles हैं, these are our 6 studies, ठीक है, ये हमारी 6 studies हैं. And all three sides of the triangle, all three corners of the triangle, they should be covered with studies, ठीक है. लेकिन okay, so in our scenario, because there are only 6 studies, we cannot properly comment on the publication bias. But let's say, for example, ये जो triangle है, इसकी सिर्फ top वाली side पे studies accumulate हुई होगी, and these two sides are empty. So that would mean that there is some hint of publication bias, ठीक है. So when there is a asymmetrical spread of studies, then you will say there is a hint of publication bias, okay. You cannot say it accurately, definitely you cannot say that, but you can only say that there is a hint of publication bias, ठीक है. Mind there's no actual triangle. I'm just saying imagine that this is a triangle, okay. The central line is the top of the triangle, this is the top, and these are the two sides of the triangle, okay, like this, ठीक है. अब इसमें there should be an even spread of the studies को इधर भी होना चाहिए, इधर भी होना चाहिए, इधर भी होना चाहिए, इधर भी होना चाहिए, ठीक है. अगर सारी जगह studies present हैं तो we will say there's no publication bias, ठीक है. But अगर एक corner पे studies सारी accumulate हुई हैं या एक side पे triangle सारी आई हैं and this side is empty, then we will say there's a hint of publication bias, okay. That's it. और इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है publication bias, ठीक है. You just have to say whether there's a chance of publication bias or not, okay. You cannot say it with surety that is there publication bias or not. You just have to mention that like is there a hint of publication bias or not. Okay, so sum it up, publication bias होता ये है assessment उन studies का देखना होता है हमने जो जिनकी findings insignificant होती हैं और जिनकी findings different होती हैं हमसे और जो publish नहीं होती, तो बस हम उनको check करते हैं कि वो studies हमारे outcome में present है कि नहीं है, ठीक है. तो बस ये होता है publication bias assessment and that is it. Out of the imaginary triangle, imaginary है ना, कोई lines तो सी है नहीं, तो out of का कोई सवाल आता नहीं, ठीक है. So you just like if I had to comment on this and if I had to report this, तो मैं ऐसे report करूँगा कि there is a hint of publication bias in my outcome of case because there is an asymmetrical spread of studies in the funnel plot, okay. It's important to find again क्योंकि हमारी स्टडी बेहतर होती है इससे. ये सारी चीज़ें ये जो है ना ये publication bias assessment ये Cochrane की गाइडलाइन है which is known as Cochrane handbook I think something. So उनकी गाइडलाइन में है कि if you have more than 10 studies you have to make funnel plot and you have to see whether there is publication bias or not, okay. So that's why we have to do it, okay, and it makes our study better. So all of these things you have to do it to make your study better and improve the chances of publication. नहीं publication bias basically हमारे एनालिसिस में कुछ ऐड नहीं हुआ. वो ये है कि जैसे लेट्स से हमने 6 स्टडीज मिली हमें फ्रॉम आवर पाइको, राइट. हमें वी एडेड 6 स्टडीज एंड कुछ स्टडीज ऐसी होती हैं जो पब्लिश नहीं होती, कहीं भी नहीं मिलेंगी वो इंटरनेट पे. तो वो बस ये जो है हमारा फन उसको असेस करता है कि सारी अगर फाइंडिंग सिमिलर हैं तो कुछ ऐसी स्टडीज होनी चाहिए जिनकी फाइंडिंग डिफरेंट हो और वो जो स्टडी होती है वो कभी पब्लिश नहीं होती, तो इसलिए हम publication bias करते हैं ताकि देखने के लिए कि वो स्टडीज हैं कि नहीं है. इफ यू हैव लेस देन 10 स्टडीज देन डोंट डू. इफ यू हैव मोर देन 10 स्टडीज देन यू डू इट. Yes, I think that's what you have to do. ठीक है. And last thing recommend में ये करनी है कि if you guys want to save any plot, okay, if you guys want to save any forest plot or funnel plot as an image, so just open your forest plot and then you will see a save button down here, okay, save as button. There are no ideal number of studies, but there should be like 3 or more studies, okay, for meta analysis. Publication bias doesn't affect our study. अगर publication bias है तो like obviously it's a हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसमें, we just have to report it. It's not in our control. We cannot go back and publish the study, okay. So I'm just saying कि अगर if you want to save any plot, so just open your forest plot and then click on this blue button, okay, and click save as. And you can save it as PNG, okay, and then just click save. ठीक है, सेव करना तो आता ही हो सबको. SVG फाइल में PNG ही यूज करते हैं, don't save it as SVG, save it as PNG. Yes, we have to save this because we have to add this as a figure in our manuscript. I'll tell you guys that later on, okay. So guys, I have to tell you guys, yes, we have to save it as PNG, and yes, we'll go for a 10-minute break right now. But before that, so many of you were facing problems with CMA, the comprehensive meta-analysis, because it's not a good software. It's a very old software and it has a lot of bugs and errors. So even if when you're performing analysis, if you can open it, even then it shows a lot of errors. Okay. So what we can do right now is we can do meta regression on meta essentials. Okay, and everyone can do it side by side because meta essentials is only an Excel file. Okay, so everyone can open that on their laptops and we can do it एक साथ and so सबको एक साथ समझ में आ जाएगा चीज़ों से. And what I can do is I can send you the recording of CMA ताकि जिनके पास open हो भी जाए वो अपने टाइम पे आराम से बैठ के उसकी recording देख के meta regression कर ले. ठीक है. तो please let me know if you guys are in agreement. Okay, so I'll send the recording for CMA ताकि जिनके पास इंस्टॉल्ड है भी वो आराम से बैठ के कर लें और अभी हम मेटा एसेंशियल्स करेंगे आफ्टर दिस ब्रेक एंड मेटा एसेंशियल्स की फाइल I'll send it on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so after the break I want everyone to open the meta essentials file. Yes, Arishman, you have it running, but I will send you the recording and you can do it on your own time. Okay, so because many of you were facing troubles with CMA and I understand I also face many problems with it because it's not a good software. So yeah. all of those who have CMA running, don't worry, I will send the recording today, and you can do it easily on your own time. Okay, you can ask me questions personally also. You can view it slowly also. So it's up to you. Okay. Okay, so let's go for a 10-minute break now, and after the break we will do comprehensive meta-analysis. Okay. Oh sorry. After the break we'll do meta-essentials. Okay. So those of you who want to go for a break, you can go. I'll be answering a couple of questions now. What's the significance of publication bias apart from religion? Aisha, there are like I mentioned, Cochrane की guidelines हैं कि हम publication bias करना है ज़रूरी to let the readers know कि there might be some studies इस topic पे जिनके different results और publish नहीं हुए, ठीक है? So अगर obviously अगर एक study में bias नहीं है तो it's a better study, it's a more like a strong methodologically study. So यही होता है, बस हम अपना methodology होती है वही अपनी strengthen करना चाहते हैं, तो हम बस उसी के लिए publication bias assessment करते हैं because we want the journal to know कि हम मतलब additional analysis भी कर रहे हैं apart from only the main analysis. Okay. इसको bias assessment की आज होगा, don't worry about that. Prisma भी बाद में आ जाएगा, and अभी just go for a 10-minute break, and when we come back we'll do meta essential. Okay. All right. So meta regression basically means like it's a sort of analysis. I sent this sheet on the WhatsApp group. I'll send it again. Okay. Please open the WhatsApp group and download it and open it. Okay, so everyone open Meta Essentials file, and it should look something like this. Okay, so meta regression, naam se, I know it might sound complicated, but it's pretty simple, and it's an analysis that we do to see whether there is a correlation between any of our baseline demographic and our outcome. Okay, so that is the definition of meta regression. Basically, बहुत simple है. हम बस correlation देखना चाहते हैं between our baseline demographics, for example age, for example male percentage, for example percentage of people with diabetes, okay, all these baseline demographics, we want to see the correlation between that and our outcome base. हम देखना चाहते हैं कि अगर एक स्टडी में मीन एज 30 है और एक स्टडी में मीन एज 80 है, तो हम देखना चाहते हैं कि ये जो इंक्रीज एज हुई है इससे कोई इफेक्ट आ रहा है हमारे आउटकम पे कि नहीं आ रहा, ठीक है। तो दिस इज मेटा रिग्रेशन, डेफिनेशन यही है और कुछ भी नहीं है। तो एवरीवन ओपन द एक्सेल फाइल and you can see the column B, it's written study name, right? So just write the name of all the studies. So I'll do the same. By 2013. Okay, so just write the name of all the studies. By focus and gap. So let me know when you're done with writing the names. Okay, so when you've written the name, please let me know. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Excel file, so it can't be much complicated. Shadana, I sent the file on the WhatsApp group, so you have to open that file. Okay, so when you've written the names, you will see column A, B, C, D, N1 and N2. Okay, if you're unable to type on it, make sure you have ये जो है ना यहाँ से ऊपर लिखा आएगा नीचे enable editing. So make sure you enable editing and then you can write on it. Okay, so now you will see these columns A, B, C, D, N1 and N2. So basically N1 is total number of the patients in polypill group, N1, okay, N1 total number of patients in the polypill group, N2 total number of patients in the control group, ठीक है? Yes, Sharana, this is the file for doing meta regression. So N1, like I mentioned, it's total for polypill and N2 is total for control. So सारे volley values लिख लो. N1 for umpire was 1002. N2 was 1002. So write all these values, okay? Okay, so when you've written this, please let me know. Meta regression is significant. Meta regression compulsory for meta-analysis. Again, it's not compulsory. 90% of the 95% of the metas out there, they don't do meta regression. Okay, but again, बेहतर होता है करने के लिए क्योंकि हमारी स्टडी से बेहतर होती है, and we have like we can look for more findings normal analysis के अलावा. It's always better to do it. Okay, you can choose not to do it, it's fine because 95% of the metas don't do it. Okay, so हमने N1 and N2 लिख लिया. अब the column A and the column C. Okay, so column A is the events in polypill group and column C are the events in the control group. Okay, so A is polypill के events कितने हैं and C are control के events कितने हैं, ठीक है? So just write that. 35. Okay, so let me know when you guys have entered these values. So it should look something like this. Which data are we entering? This is MACE outcome, okay, measured by cardiovascular events. हम MACE पे ही करना चाह रहे हैं अपनी meta regression. Okay, so अभी तक हम बस MACE का डेटा एंटर कर रहे हैं. Okay. Okay. Please let me know when you're done. Okay. What is A and C? A is the total number of events in the polypill group, and C are the total number of events in the control group. Okay. तो अभी तक हमने सिर्फ वही basic analysis किया, फिर हमने कुछ special किया. अब you guys can see this moderator column, right? This moderator column, the column L. ओके, सो मॉडरेटर वेरिएबल अगेन लाइक आई मेंशन इट्स अ बेसलाइन वेरिएबल, कोई भी हो सकता है जिसका हम इफेक्ट देखना चाह रहे हैं अपने आउटकम पे, ठीक है। आउटकम हमारे मेज है, तो हम मॉडरेटर वेरिएबल हमारा जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इन आवर सिनेरियो वी विल टेक एज, अब हम देखना चाह रहे हैं एज का इफेक्ट क्या है मेज पे, ठीक है। तो नाउ इफ यू लुक एट द आउटकम एक्सट्रैक्शन सैंपल, दिस इज द कॉलम फॉर मीन एज, ओके, मीन एज का कॉलम है एंड मीन एज हमने दी हुई सारी स्टडीज की, राइट, 72, 71, ये जो प्लस माइनस के आगे लिखा है दैट इज स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन। सो ये सारी जो मीन एज है, वी हैव टू एंटर दीस मीन एजेस हियर इन द मॉडरेटर कॉलम, ओके। So enter the images in the moderator column. 72 is for Empire, 71 is for Focus, Impact is 67, ठीक है, 63. Okay, so let me know when you've entered the mean ages also in the moderator column. Okay, I chose sound is done. So this moderator is your variable जिसका हम इफेक्ट देखना चाह रहे हैं on our outcome, ठीक है। तो मॉडरेटर कोई भी वेरिएबल हो सकता है, फॉर एग्जांपल एज हो गई, फॉर एग्जांपल परसेंटेज ऑफ मेल्स हो गए, परसेंटेज ऑफ फीमेल हो गई, परसेंटेज ऑफ डायबिटिक्स हो गए, परसेंटेज ऑफ हाइपरटेंसिव पेशेंट्स हो गए। अब हम देखना चाह रहे हैं कि इस कोई इन सब परसेंटेज का कोई इफेक्ट है हमारे आउटकम पे जो मेज है कि नहीं, ठीक है। तो दैट इज द मॉडरेटर वेरिएबल। ओके, सो यू गाइस हैव एंटर्ड द मॉडरेटर वेरिएबल्स आल्सो, द मीन एज हमने ऐड कर दी सबकी। अब क्या करना है, सबने इधर आना है मॉडरेटर एनालिसिस। मॉडरेटर वैल्यूज हमारी है मीन एज वैल्यू हो गया। इफ यू गो टू द आउटकम एक्सट्रैक्शन शीट यू विल सी मीन एज एंड यू विल ओनली राइट द मीन वैल्यू, नॉट द स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन वैल्यू। सो प्लस माइनस लेफ्ट साइड पे जो भी है वो लिखना बस। ओके, नाउ ओपन द मॉडरेटर एनालिसिस शीट, नीचे होगी। ओके, ओपन दैट शीट, मॉडरेटर एनालिसिस शीट एट बॉटम, ठीक है। ठीक है, I didn't do anything else. I just said here, first enter all this data. Column A is the events in maze, events in volleyball. Column C is the events in control. N1 is total number of, and N2 is total number of patients in the control room. ठीक है, and the moderator column जो सारी values लिखी हैं, I got these values from the outcomes extraction sheet, and these are the mean age, okay? The mean ages of all the studies, okay? So you only have to write the mean value, but I want to see the effect of age on our outcome, because I'm just giving this as an example, okay? You can choose whatever you want to do. That depends on your baseline sheet, ठीक है? अभी I'm just showing it to you as an example. Okay, so everyone click on the moderator analysis sheet, and it should look something like this. Yes, I will change fixed effects to random effects, don't worry. We don't add two at the same time. Yes, we can conduct for continuous outcomes also. It will be the same. You guys cannot see the graph. Make sure you have sufficient data. Sufficient data should be. Acha. Another thing. Go to the input and make sure these are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of you can see the graph, some of you can't. Make sure you have sufficient data on the column. It should be yes, okay. You don't write yes खुद से यहाँ. It's a formula already in the Excel. But make sure you have this is yes. अगर ये no हुआ होगा तो then you won't be able to add anything. All of those who are having problem with the graph, please show me your input tab. This input sheet. Please show the screenshot of it in the group. Please save the screen. Show the screenshot. So yeah, your data is fine. I think you have sufficient data. So send the screenshot of the other column, the other sheet. Sorry. Okay, guys, try saving the file. Try saving the file and then opening it again. Guys, make sure that you've entered the data in the right column. सिर्फ A और C में enter करना है data, ठीक है? A और B में नहीं enter करना. So the columns. So see, some of you, many of you are able to see your graph. So I think you guys might be doing something wrong. So make sure you've entered the data in this column, the column A, and the column C. Okay. So make sure the column B and D are empty. Okay. They should be empty. And N1 and N2 should be filled. So make sure you've done this. All of those who are having problem with this, I'm sending my Excel sheet, which I've updated right now with all the values, and try opening that. Okay. I'm sending the Excel file in the group, so everyone try opening that. If your graph is different, don't worry, it's not a problem. वो dimensions थोड़े मसले हो सकते हैं. Okay, so I've sent the Excel file. Everyone open the Excel file. Okay, please open my Excel file. See, my Excel file is working fine. So everyone open my Excel file and abandon your Excel file. You guys probably did some mistake and you guys made some error. So that's why you are facing difficulties. So please, everyone, open the Excel file I sent. Okay. Just open my file and then I think you'll be able to see. Everyone, please close your Excel file and then open my Excel file. Please just ignore your Excel file, close it, and then open the Excel file that I've sent. And make sure you have Microsoft Excel downloaded. Like, only then you will be able to run this file. You won't be able to run this in any other software. Okay? This is a Microsoft Excel program, and Google Sheets पे भी नहीं होगा ये, किसी पे भी नहीं होगा. Okay, now everyone please open the page and try to follow. Okay, so first of all, make sure this is the paying method is this MH. Okay, उन्होंने पहले से inverse variance use किया हुआ था, but you have to choose MH here. You get the graph by opening this moderator analysis. If some of you still have problem with this, I don't think we can do anything else about it. There must be some problem with your Microsoft Excel because it's working fine for me and a lot of other people. So I think there must be some problem with the Excel you guys have. And you guys will be able to run this later on also. Abhi, this what's important is to know how to interpret this and its significance क्या है, ठीक है? So I want everyone to focus on this first, okay? ये बाकी सारे सवाल you can ask me later on also. ठीक है, तो make sure the weighing method is MH, okay? And make sure the model is random effects. ठीक है? So now this will be your bubble plot. This is known as a bubble plot, okay? All the circles are studies, ठीक है? And this line is the best fit line, ठीक है? This line will tell us whether there is a association between these two, between our moderator variable and our outcome or not, okay? So moderator variable will be on the x-axis and our outcome will be on the y-axis, and उसके बीच में एक line बनती है which tells us the correlation between the two, ठीक है? अब हमें again इसमें we have to focus on the p value, okay? अब p value कहाँ से पता लगी? If you scroll down, you will see this table, okay? And you will see this p value, okay? जो moderator का column, moderator की row है, उसमें ये p value होती है, ठीक है? This p value will tell us whether our regression analysis is significant or not, okay? So if the p value is 0.412, we all know that it's not significant, right? So we will state that there is no significant association between age and major adverse cardiovascular events, okay? So इसीलिए हम regression करते हैं to figure out whether there is an association between our moderator variable, which can be anything from the baseline variables, and our outcomes, okay? So हमें पता लग गया कि age का कोई effect नहीं है इसमें, ठीक है? I'll explain it again. So like I mentioned, make sure the weighing method is MH and make sure the model is random effects. Okay. See, this is that simple y is equals to mx plus c वाला ग्राफ जो हम पहले कॉलेज में करते थे, ठीक है? x एक्सिस पे हमारा है मॉडरेटर वेरिएबल, y एक्सिस पे हमारा है आउटकम, ठीक है? तो हम चेक करना चाह रहे हैं कि x एक्सिस की चेंज से y एक्सिस पे जो चीज़ है वो चेंज हो रही है कि नहीं हो रही, ठीक है? So this is same as that. and we all these blue circles they are our studies, and this red line is the best fit line. ठीक है, ये red line हमें बताती है कि कोई correlation है कि नहीं है. ठीक है, so it's pretty much that, and this entire thing is known as a bubble plot. The p value, if you scroll down, you will see this table. So this is the p value moderator. This p value is the p value, okay? And the moderator row, the last p value is the p value. Explain the graph. So graph, like I mentioned, there is our moderator variable on the x-axis, and the effect size is our outcome, which is on the y-axis. So we want to see by changing the x-axis, does it change the thing which is on the y-axis or not? Okay. So हम देख रहे हैं कि जिन स्टडीज़ की एज ज़्यादा है 70 और 80 में, उनमें मेस क्या था, और जिन स्टडीज़ की एज कम है उनमें मेस क्या था. ठीक है, तो दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू डू. ठीक है, एंड द ब्लू सर्कल्स आर स्टडीज़ एंड द रेड लाइन इज द बेस्ट line. You don't have to make anything yourself, like I showed you guys. I didn't make anything myself. खुद ही वही एक्सेल के formulas लगे हैं, they will do it for you. Okay, don't have to do anything yourself. Yes, you should do it for every variable, like if you have enough variables, and do it. Fiza, you asked a good question, but इसमें we're not using inverse variance because this is the meta analysis model. Okay, meta analysis तो हम मेस का ही कर रहे हैं ना. हम मेस के मेटा एनालिसिस पे चेक कर रहे हैं कि हमारे जो चीज़ें एज उसका इफेक्ट आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा. ठीक है, हम कोई एज का मेटा एनालिसिस नहीं कर रहे हैं, मेटा एनालिसिस सिर्फ मेस का कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो मेस तो हमारा डाइकोटमस ही है और उसमें तो एमएच आएगा. ठीक है, if you are doing this for some continuous outcome, then it would be inverse variance. What are some variables? For example, age, number of percentage of females, percentage of males, percentage of hypertensive patients. ठीक है, all of these are the examples, and this will be present in the baseline sheet. ठीक है, तो अब मुझे इसको इंटरप्रेट मैं ऐसे करूँगा कि there was no significant correlation between age and major adverse cardiovascular events because we have a p value of 0.412. ठीक है, and then you can just save this plot also by directly copying it or whatever you want to. You can copy it. Okay. Don't worry about the intercept. Just focus on this moderator row. ठीक है, moderator like I mentioned, it is our baseline कोई variable होता है जिसका हम effect check करना चाह रहे होते हैं अपने outcome पे. outcome हमारा क्या था base, और हम बस moderator analysis की p value लेंगे ये वाली. So this is pretty much meta regression, and it's pretty much simple. I know it seems a bit tough, but it's pretty much simple. और इसमें ये करना होता है हमने. And if you guys, I'll send you the recording for CMA. You can do that also on your own time. You cannot tell by looking at the graph only. You will be only able to tell by looking at the p value. ठीक है, ग्राफ से तुम्हें देख के लग रहा है कोई correlation है, लेकिन p value is not significant. Okay, I'll answer Fiza's question again. So Fiza asked since age is a continuous variable, so why didn't we choose inverse variance here? So I'm like I told her कि मेज पे हम मेटा एनालिसिस करें. ठीक है, ये मेटा एनालिसिस मॉडल है. ठीक है, तो ये कोई मॉडरेटर एनालिसिस मॉडल नहीं है. So मेटा एनालिसिस मॉडल तो हमारा मेज का लगेगा ना, which is a dichotomous outcome, and for dichotomous we use MH. You can check however many variables you want to, but male percentage or female percentage and age, and these are present in almost every study. Okay, because these are the most basic baseline characteristics. So you can add these three always, and on top of that, it depends on your topic. Some topics might have number of diabetics, some topics might have number of smokers, so you can add that also. So to summarize all of this, हमने meta regression किया on effect of age on mace, and all these blue circles are the studies, and this red line is the best fit line, and this entire thing is known as the bubble plot. Now moving on, I want to see the p value, and this is the p value that I'll be looking at, the moderator row, last p value, which is 0.412. It will tell me if my meta regression is significant or not. Okay, so I can see my meta regression is not significant because the p value is 0.412. How much should be the p value? The p value should be less than 0.05 for it to be significant. Okay. Yeah, so guys, we're done with meta regression, but एक बस ये additional चीज़ अगर मैं दिखाऊँ तुम लोगों को. So if you guys open this publication bias analysis, so there is a very good triangle given. ठीक है, the imaginary triangle is not imaginary anymore, and you guys can see the triangle. ठीक है, so you guys can add this also. ठीक है, it's up to you if you want to add this funnel plot or if you want to add the funnel plot of Feldman. ठीक है. Meta regression की definition was simple यही कि it is done to see the correlation between a moderator variable and an outcome. Moderator variable होता है baseline variable कोई भी, outcome हमारा होता है outcome जो हमने normally लिया होता है meta analysis में, for example mace कुछ भी हो गया. ठीक है, yes this triangle is better, I agree with you. So it's up to you if you want to use this or the funnel plot in Redman. There is not can you elaborate triangle? There is nothing to elaborate on the triangle like I mentioned before. Okay, all the blue dots they should be spread all over the triangle. ठीक है, if you see any asymmetry it means there is publication bias. If you don't see any asymmetry, you see there is spread of studies all over the triangle, that means there is no publication bias. Okay. Yes, you can use this like to conduct meta analysis also. Obviously, there's study outside the triangle, that doesn't matter. It's just this is a reference. These are reference lines. ठीक है, ये कोई fixed lines नहीं है कि अंदर की side line करनी चाहिए, तो there is no issue अगर कोई बाहर भी है. Okay guys, so we're done with meta regression. Now we're done with analysis. हमने सारा analysis कर लिया है. Now you guys should be able to do all types of analysis. ये कोई difference नहीं है, what's the difference between analysis and this file and there is no difference between this file and that. ये difference है कि in Redman we won't be able to do meta regression, and Redman the forest plots are better, and Redman the software it's worldwide known more than this, so it's more acceptable than this. So that only. Publication bias अगर significant है मतलब there are some unpublished studies. Okay, so we'll be taking a break now guys, and after that we will be continuing on with quality assessment and manuscript writing. I hope you guys learned a lot from the analysis section, and we might be extending the time because we have to cover two things, which is the quality assessment and manuscript writing. Okay guys, we'll be joining after 10 minutes. Okay. basically the whole purpose of this workshop was that we introduce all of the elements of a meta-analysis and systematic review to you, so that when we form your groups and we start working with you on a meta-analysis, then at that time it won't be a very new thing for you. Okay, you would have seen all of that with us during the workshop, and then when you start working on it and do it yourself, it would be easier for you, and then we'll be there to guide you and help you out throughout. So then by doing it, you will learn, and of course then you will master everything is done in a meta-analysis. Alright, perfect. Secondly, what I want to say right now is that we might be extending the time. We might be extending the time up to 8 p.m. because we need to cover the risk of bias section, and then we will have to cover writing a manuscript as well. Hala will be doing the manuscript portion, I will be doing the risk of bias portion. So we might be extending the time. So I hope everyone is okay with it too. Today is the last day, so we want to finish everything and not leave anything. Alright. Regarding recordings, we do not provide recordings of the whole workshop. However, as Dr. Mohit has already notified, we will be providing recordings to you for the comprehensive meta-analysis, the CMA file, because most of the people aren't able to use the file, but some of you are able to use it. So we will be using the CMA file, the recording for the CMA file, we will be giving it to you. Alright. Yes, we will be taking a namaz break for Maghrib. Maghrib is at 7:30, so we'll take it at that time. But right now, I'm going to start the risk of bias analysis portion. Alright. So, first of all, let me talk about risk of bias. Okay, after we discuss with you guys publication bias, I want to emphasize here publication bias is a separate thing and risk of bias is a separate thing. Okay, so please do not be like if it's confusing, do not be confused between publication bias and risk of bias, right? And publication bias is a separate thing, risk of bias is a separate thing. Publication bias is conducted on Revit or essential meta-analysis file which Dr. Mohit got you. Okay, risk of bias will be conducted on a separate file. Okay, I will share the file on the WhatsApp after this workshop. Right now, you do not have to perform risk of bias alongside me. What you just need to do is you just need to focus on the screen and you just need to watch the word, okay? Because there's nothing to learn in doing risk of bias. You just need to know how to use the Excel file, which is useful. Conduct risk of bias, alright? So you just need to watch me. Is my voice clear now? Right. So you guys just need to watch me how to perform risk of bias on the Excel file, and there are certain PDFs that we use to perform risk of bias. You just need to watch me. I'm going to share the Excel file and the PDFs with you. You can perform them yourself as well. So right now, just focus on the screen, and I will try my best to explain as much as possible so that we can finish this as early as possible. All right. Okay. Now, what you see on my screen is an Excel file which is used to conduct risk of bias for randomized controlled trials. Okay. One second, I'm repeating. On my screen, an Excel file which is used to conduct risk of bias assessment for randomized controlled trials. Okay. So this Excel file can only be used for one type of study, which is an RCT, randomized controlled trial. Okay. You will not conduct risk of bias assessment using this file for any other type of study. Okay. Can you guys tell me in the chat the different types of study designs that are there? Different types of study that are there. All right. Cohort. What else? Cohort, RCT, descriptive. Yes. Yes. Case reports. Yes. Case controls. Yes. Yes. CD. Okay. So can you guys tell me the two different kinds of clinical trials? What are the two different kinds of clinical trials? Exactly. So the two types of clinical trials are randomized clinical trials and non-randomized controlled trials. The reason why I'm asking all of this and why I'm talking about all of this is because this Excel file, which is on my screen right now, is only used for randomized clinical trials. It cannot be used for non-randomized clinical trials. Okay? Only for randomized clinical trials, RCTs. Is that clear? Okay, perfect. Okay, now let's talk about this Excel file. First of all, then of this Excel file is ROB. Okay, ROB 2. By ROB it means risk of bias. As you can see at the top of my screen, the file is titled as ROB 2. Okay, so ROB 2 is risk of bias 2. Basically, this is the second version of the risk of bias assessment file. ROB 2, it is known as ROB 2, and it is published by Cochrane. Okay, so Cochrane, the company Cochrane,
they have published this tool, this Excel tool, to conduct risk of bias assessment for randomized clinical trials. And this is a file that we will use to conduct risk of bias assessment for randomized control trials. So once again, Cochrane is a company which has published this Excel tool to conduct risk of bias assessment for randomized control trials. Cochrane has also published tools to conduct risk of bias assessment for non-randomized control trials, for cohort studies, for cross-sectional studies, and every. However, we are only going to conduct risk of bias assessment for randomized control trials by using the Cochrane tool, which is the ROT2 tool. Okay. For other types of study, we are going to use a separate type of risk of bias assessment form, which has not been published by Cochrane. Another type of